What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I am Jordan Wheeler, and this is Grassroots Self-Service Garage. Normally, I forget to shoot an outro and have to do it later. This time, I forgot to shoot an intro. So in this episode, we're going to be putting some more RTR parts on the rear end of the RTR Spec Dose. Looking to put on an RTR Gurney flap onto my Mustang out there, onto the PP spoiler. I have two different spoilers here that I got both from work. Now, if you're asking, why do I have two of them? It's because I grabbed both of them from basically the trash. This one right here was a test spoiler. So you can see how this one here doesn't have any of the 3M double-sided tape like this one does. For that, it was just used to test fit, make sure everything was going good, but I don't know if you can see it here. I'll bring it out into the sun. You can kind of see right there how there's a little bit of a altered finish on this one, so I'd have to sand this one down and refinish it. I tried to just do a spray over, and it didn't look the way I wanted to, but with this one, what you can notice between the two is this one here is basically flat, whereas that one is curved. Reason for that is this one here was a local shipping damage. So we shipped this one out to a local Houston dealer, and unfortunately the shipper bent the box. So to try and fix this one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay it out on the car. You can kind of see this curve right here. I'm gonna lay it on the car, and then I'm gonna try to heat it up and see if I can reform that one. I would prefer to use that one as opposed to this one. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just have to lay down new tape there, which means more prepping of the surface. Putting it up here, you can see right there where that wrinkle is. I'm gonna see if I can heat this up at all and flatten it out. Fingers crossed, because it'd be a lot nicer to use this one. There's still just a little bit of a wrinkle right there, but I do believe that we've got it down enough that if we get the 3M tape down, we can get this thing to stay. What I was doing was I was heating it up with the hair dryer and then trying to flatten it out with the piece of board that I have right there. I'm optimistic though. I'm optimistic. Here we have everything that came with the spoiler brand new. So you get your installation instructions, you get your alcohol wipe to help prep it, as well as your adhesive promoter to make sure that the 3M double-sided tape sticks. Now we've used these on our Series 1s and all of our recommended package installations, which come on a performance pack, PP1 or PP2. I have never had one of these come off of one of our vehicles that we ourselves have installed. I have a lot of customers who have not had this come off. I will say this though, people who have an issue with these things sticking, I can tell you from my time as managing customer service as well as installing these things and seeing them on vehicles on the road, one of the biggest things that will cause you to fail on installing this thing is if you don't, one, prep it properly by cleaning your spoiler, making sure you wipe it down with the alcohol, and putting the adhesive promoter, is also if you don't follow these instructions. So if we look at the instructions here real quick, it talks about how you need to make cuts here and here, pull back the tape at the ends, and then set it up against your spoiler and then begin to peel the backing. Most customers, what they do is they do kind of a quick clean on it. They don't use enough of the promoter, or the other big one that I see all the time is everybody just gets in a rush. They pull all the tape off of it and then try to set it. What you're gonna have the problem with that then is you're gonna set it up against there on your way, carrying it over to your spoiler. You're already getting all the dirt and debris collecting onto it. Once you set it up against there, if it's not perfect, then you're trying to reset the thing, and then now the adhesion isn't gonna stick the way that it needs to. You need to make sure you have it set the way that you need it, prepped up against the spoiler, and then remove your backing. That's the only way this is gonna work. All buttoned up, the PP RTR Gurney flap is on there, so I like it. I actually think it helps. I know in the other videos I said that this car with everything on there is a hell of a lot of blue back here, and I was hoping this would start breaking it up, and it really does. I think it really adds a nice touch to it, and never having seen one of these on a grabber blue vehicle before, it's really, really nice. I think I got it in here good on all the corners that I needed to. It's tucked up. I would say this is probably an expert case of installing one of these. Now we're gonna see if we can jump in here real quick and get the rear diffusers on. Okay, so when we're getting ready to do this, everything that comes in this box is pretty standard. You get your rear diffusers, you get your instructions, you get your bolts for this, as well as the bracket hardware. All that's gonna slide right up in here. So we're gonna fast forward, knock this all out real quick, and then I'll show you the finished product. I don't know how well this shows up, but rear diffuser is locked in place. I think it looks pretty good. This one is a lot more aggressive than what the original one was that I had on here. As you can see, it sticks out pretty good distance. The only thing that I need to do is put the bolt right in here in the middle section. But to do that, I'm going to need the center brace for the 18 to 20. The brace that I have, which is, I don't know, somewhere around here. Actually, no, it's on the car. It's on the bottom of the car, but it's broken. And it doesn't line up the exact same way that it would on an 18 to 20 since it is the 15 to 17. But once we get that in, I can probably find that from somebody or get it online. I think when I looked online, it was like 14 bucks. But we do have a rear deck lid panel on order. We also are looking for the rear reflectors. I tried to pull them off the bumper on the 15 to 17. I don't know if I filmed any of that in any of the previous videos, but they do not line up. They're not the same width. So if any of you see on eBay reflectors for the rear bumper and it says 15 to 18 or 15 to 19, know that that is not correct, because they will not fit exactly the same. Now, I don't know how it is on the EcoBoost or anything that doesn't have the quad exhaust, but I can tell you on this exact rear bumper setup, it does not fit. It is not the same. Also, the reverse light on this is different. So the cutout is the same, the housing is the same, the bracket where it mounts up sits back farther on the 15 to 17 than it does the 18 to 20. Like I said, I probably could have modified it, but I really didn't want to. Right about now, I'm wishing I would have. They're not really expensive. I just don't want to pay for that right now, but I got to. The rear end is almost complete. Rear deck lid is on order. The only other thing that we need back here is we're gonna have to get the rear quarters down there on the rockers, and then we need to figure out what we are going to do with our reverse sensors. It would be nice to have reverse sensors. I need to look into seeing whether or not that will plug and play into the harness and work. I think when you go through the menu on this car, it does have an option for reverse sensors, is get the hood painted and the front fenders. I did get new brackets for these things. These were off of, it looks like a magnetic car. So I'm probably gonna spray these with a blue. I do have a few different blues over here. I'm not going to make it an exact match for this because it's the hood hinge and nobody's ever really going to see it. And if they do, it's only going to be briefly. So I'm not really too concerned about that. We'll get that on there. We'll try to get these things off to paint. I talked to a different painter that told me it was going to be about $648 to get these and both fenders painted. And then we should be ready to rock with those and we can get those on. It'll take about 3 to 4 days, they said, to get all that stuff painted and get it back to me, and then we'll be able to get it mounted onto here. After that, all we're really doing is waiting for stuff for the front bumper. I did look, and you can get the headlights onto this vehicle with the fenders on and the hood on. All you have to, well, I mean, you got to pop the hood. But as long as the front bumper is off, you can still get the headlights on and off. And then, of course, we need the upper and lower RTR grills before we can really put the bumper on. So, like I said, I don't really want to do any type of painting of anything, just to let it sit here in the garage and get knocked around. So we will be working on that. Hopefully we can get that out sometime this week as you guys are watching this, but we'll go ahead and see how that all turns out. I think that's about it for me. I do have a video that's probably going to be coming up later in the week, but no promises. I went out to Holly Ford Fest, had a little bit of fun out there with the RTR team. So Thursday video is back. And we do have FD Dallas coming up, so you guys should be able to see that shortly as well. Until the next video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our adventures or any of this build. Thank you guys very much. Peace.